The weather makes your hair really dry in the wintertime. Just like your skin is dry, your hair also gets dry. So we have to make sure we moisturize our hair. Whether it's with argan oil or whether it's with coconut oil or a moisturizing cream, we have to moisturize our hair. A lot of times in the wintertime, people are wearing wool coats, they're wearing wool sweaters, and what happens is their hair is breaking off, and it's breaking off at the nape area because they're always constantly turning their heads and they're talking and just walking. And if you look at the back of your wool sweater or your coat, you will see pieces of hair that has popped off your head. And I know the winter coats, the wool is nice and warm, but it breaks your hair off. So what I like to tell my clients is put a scarf right on the back of the sweater or back of the coat so your hair won't break off.
You always want to section your hair out before you comb it out. So if you have a lot of hair, always section it out. When you're trying to make a decision between should you wear a weave or a wig, a lot of the times if you want to wear your hair up and like you want to be able to wear a ponytail, it's probably best if you get a weave because you probably want to leave some hair out enough to cover where it looks very natural and it's more versatile. With the wigs, it's a little bit more convenient. Like I have on a wig, and I mean, I just think it's convenient. I don't really like to have the same style every day or look the same way every day. So, this is my choice today. Tomorrow it'll be something else. It just depends on what kind of look you're going for and, how you want that to work for you.
How often, a lot of people are asking how often should they comb and moisturize their hair after leaving the salon. It depends on your hair. If you're natural hair is very drying. And if it's dry, you have to moisturize, moisturize, moisturize because the cuticle of the hair is closed when it's natural. So I always say, every day for some people, every 2 days for some people. Some people can go every 3 days. But moisturize, moisturize, moisturize. Relaxed hair, you can probably go a little longer, like 3 days in between, but you have to moisturize your hair.
Only when you wear braids too long, or weave too long, or even a wig installed too long, what happens, the hair that's growing underneath, when you go to take it out, if you don't properly comb the hair out before you shampoo it, it's going to mat as soon as you get to the bowl. Take your braids out, comb your hair thoroughly. Also, use a moisturizing shampoo because if you go in with a shampoo that's not moisturizing and you just came out of braids or weave, it's going to mat.
I'm going to talk to you how you can detangle your kids' hair. Tip number 1, a wide tooth comb. Okay. Second, you're going to need a rat tail comb. Third, you're going to need a spray bottle with some water in it. And you're going to put some conditioner on it. And you're going to spray the water on the hair. And you're going to use the rat tail comb and start from the ends and work your way up to the roots. And then you're going to also use the big comb as well to just go over it again to make sure everything is clear.
Some tips that you can use after you leave the salon to keep your hair looking great. One tip, my favorite tip, is using a satin bonnet at night. The satin bonnet at night is great. It keeps your hair nice and moist. It keeps your hair in place. You can also take and put your hair up in what we call a pineapple, and it keeps your style.
You need to trim your hair every 6 to 8 weeks because when you do not and you go in for that trim, you're going to take off so much more. It's better to have a healthy head of hair than one that is damaged all the way up to the root.
I'm talking to you today about going from dark hair to blonde hair, whether it's blonde or pale blonde. It cannot be done in one day. A lot of clients think when they come to a salon, oh, I want my hair blonde and their hair is dark brown. It's hard to get them in one day because you're only supposed to lift the hair for a certain amount of levels, which is like 4 or 5 levels, and that's it. So a lot of times we tell them it's a process. You have to come back so you can get that hair to where you want it, whether it's a blonde or pale blonde, because it's not safe to take and do it in one setting.
You cannot purchase a product that is going to grow your hair. You're only going to get 1.5 inches possibly per month anyway, no matter what you do. So it all is a part of becoming partners with your stylist, coming up with a plan, and sticking to that plan.
One product that is good for natural hair is Design Essentials Leave-In Conditioner. Very good for natural hair. After you wash your hair, I suggest that you put that in your hair first. And you can blow dry with it. It makes your hair nice and soft. It also detangles. Rose H2O from Mazzani is another good product that you can use on natural hair. Natural hair oils like organic coconut oil is good, and also Oregon oil is really good for natural hair. Hi guys, this is Sheldana, coming to you again to talk to you about some tips that you can use after you leave the salon to keep your hair looking great. One tip, my favorite tip, is using a satin bonnet at night. The satin bonnet at night is great. It keeps your hair nice and moist. It keeps your hair in place. You can also take and put your hair up in what we call a pineapple, and it keeps your style.
Stop trimming your hair yourself. The reason why is because you go into your stylist, they can tell you where your dead ends is, and if they trim it, it'll be accurate than you doing it yourself at home, because you're not gonna know where your dead end is, and you might end up taking more out than you're supposed to.
A lot of my clients come to me and ask me about protein treatment, so I'm just going to talk to you a little about it. If you want to come in and get a protein treatment, well, first of all, I'm going to ask you some questions. Have your hair been shedding? Have you noticed a lot of breakage on your hair? If that's the case, I'm going to shampoo your hair, and then from there, I'm going to put you on the dryer for 45 minutes, and it hardens the hair. That way, it stops the breakage. And afterwards, we're going to wash your hair out, put you back on the dryer for 20 minutes for the conditioner.
About some risks that you're taking when you're using a relaxer, a box relaxer, or a box color. The risk is that you're either under-processing or over-processing your hair. You're damaging it. And when they come in the salon, we don't know until we put the relaxer on and we got the new growth straight, and then we look and the rest of the hair is puffy. And that's because they didn't get their hair straight all the way. They didn't process it the correct way. And when coloring their hair, they're using a lot of box colors. And what happens is they expect for the color to come out the same as it looks on the box, and it's not going to happen. So it's best to go to a salon and let them do